way. Yep.
Cool.
So I guess, Will, what are you seeing kind of, you're kind of in the epicenter of Denver. I know you said you're getting okay traffic. Is the growler situation getting any better? Or have crowlers arrived this week?
The crowlers have arrived.
Okay.
So we got some tomorrow, this morning, actually. Losing my mind. So I've been kind of have a makeshift label set up right here, just getting all of our crowlers labeled and such. And then we're actually doing just some 750 kind of not bombers, but kind of wine bottles. Okay. So these guys that we have, we're just doing some write-in labels. So we're doing some barrel aged and some non-barrel aged, which is pretty rare for us to put it in kind of wine bottles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just like super drinkable. Our Pilsner just came out. We have a really tasty Bock right now. Yeah, just trying to kind of get beer to people in whatever container we can find, honestly.
Sam.
Yeah, he might.
Sam, we can't hear you. Sorry, guys. Sam's our technical genius on this stuff. So if shit goes wrong, you're stuck with me. So.
Oh, no worries. A lot of times it just randomly mutes people sometimes, but
yeah, that's all right. So Will's got a Pilsner that just got released. What about you, Ange? Anything new or different that we should be looking for out of periodic? Oh, she's on mute too. Will, it's just the Jay and
all
Will
right.
show.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're gonna run this straight like an episode of Scrubs. Oh, wait, Zach.
There we go.
I'm back here. No, so kind of off the menu, we just kind of released this dark cherry sour ESB on nitro.
Wow, that sounds
you guys
delicious.
hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
This is going to be the worst episode of Unfiltered in history. Will, who's your partner in crime over there?
We got our head brewer,
Chris.
Chris is in the house.
Okay, I meant to ask. Okay, so now that I'm back on the horn here. Okay, so crowlers have been figured out, all of that stuff. What have you seen, you two? I mean, this is a week away, actually, with Angela here too. We're a week away from our last episode. I think last week when we talked to Woods Boss and we talked to Odyssey, things were a little bit, I don't want to say more depressing, but I think we've it's a new normal now and people are kind of settling in. What kind of, have you seen sales be better or worse than you expected? I don't care who goes first.
Yeah, I mean, I think this week has been a little worse than last week. I think, with that, single hour of prohibition that Denver experienced without being deemed essential, we had a lot of people kind of coming in and grabbing and stocking up, and it's kind of flattened out. I mean, people have stockpiled and gotten a lot of beer, and now it is, you're right. I mean, the reality of how long this potentially is going to be is setting in. But it's nice. I mean, the conversations I can tell with people coming to pick up to-go beer. I mean, people are lingering just to talk to someone new, which is an interesting experience. And it's been nice. I mean, you get to make really hopefully lasting connections with customers that are just kind of giving you a shot. And so, yeah, people just enjoy the short social interaction that we're, how the weather is, just simple chit-chatty stuff that I can tell is very appreciated because it's such a weird time and people aren't getting those interactions anymore.
I tell you guys right now, and I told Sam this morning, you guys keep this up. You are making customers for life in this scenario right now. I swear to God.
Oh my God, we're joined by El Jefe. She's chimed in. There she is. How was the board meeting?
Board-tastic.
Okay. Yeah, where's your beer? You have to have a beer. That's...
Don't worry, I just poured myself one.
Okay, all right. We were just talking about what you're seeing over the last week. Angela, what have you seen in terms of traffic over the last week? Has it been good, bad, same?
Well, like the first week, I think the first initial panic, I was pretty busy. I was really grateful to get like a lot of good tips from regulars and stuff like that. And then just overall, like I've had a lot of people, like Will said, like it just new people come in. They're like, oh, I meant to try out this place, or I pass by here all the time and I've never tried it. So they come in and grab some crowlers. So, I mean, I think that's good that people are now like, we're going to help you out. You know, we haven't tried you, but we're going to hope that you stick around, you know, hope that you guys stick around for a while.
Was it one of those things, like in talking to people, were they coming from kind of close to where you were up there in North Glen? Is that why? Or?
Really close. It's all neighborhood people. Okay. Like most of them are like, I pass by here every day to work, or I walk by here every day.
Okay.
I live right across the street. So getting some people that are in the neighborhood, I think, realizing we're here and, you know, helping us out. So.
Gotcha. Hey, Justin, welcome to this happy hour. You gotta where's your beer? You gotta have a beer. He's got it. Okay. Oh, look at him. He's got the original.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
Okay, you are. Well, thanks everybody for kind of for chiming in and for doing this. Justin, what have you seen over the last 10 to 14 days in terms of kind of Station 26 numbers and engagement and all of that? Are you getting much traffic into the tap house?
Yeah, it's been an interesting 2 weeks for sure. Taproom business has been down significantly, but down less than I would have guessed. So, you know, selling a fair amount of to-go beer through the taproom, and then on the wholesale side, you know, totally mixed bag. We've sold, you know, 0 kegs in the last 2 weeks, but have sold a lot of cans to liquor stores. So.
Are you doing okay in terms of having access to cans and all of that? Or, I mean, is this, I know that crowlers were kind of, the numbers were down a little bit at the end of last week. Things have hopefully changed a bit, but are cans still okay?
Yeah, we're good with cans. We print all our cans at Ball. So as long as we keep them up to speed, you know, with a lead time, then they keep us in cans. Crowlers, we got a little bit tight, but it looks like, you know, Ball has done their job to manufacture a bunch and get them back into the system. So we're sitting okay on the crowlers for now.
So is everybody, I guess, just across the board there, everybody able to get their beer out of the tanks fast enough for the most part?
Or
like, I mean, is it you're not wasting beer, right? Because I know that's why I asked, like, you know, talk to folks over at Tivoli, and they can't find enough kegs to put their beer in because they don't want to waste it. So yeah, that's why I asked.
Well, we personally haven't been brewing anything yet. I believe my other boss, Chris, did go up to Leadville to go get some grain and stuff. So we'll be brewing here soon. We're running really, really low on IPA and our root beer seltzer. We just can't keep it on tap. People are buying like 6 crowlers at a time of that. So luckily that one's cheaper and easier to make the seltzer and a bit quicker, you know, the fermentation time. So we're not too worried about that. And we've got, I think, about a good 6 kegs of seltzer left, but that root beer one's flying.
Shawnee and Justin, knowing you guys just got off a board meeting, just anxious to see or interested to see, what does this do for the future of legislation when it comes to craft beer in Colorado and around the country? Just, I mean, I don't want you to prescribe anything or to guess with anything, but I would assume that once the cat has been let out of the bag in terms of delivery and go-to beer, it can't be put back in, right? For breweries across the country.
Actually, well, I can't speak for what state in Colorado. That's not the case. So the governor issued a state of emergency. And so with that, all of these emergency rules that are created under that are only temporary. They're only allowable while it's a state of emergency. And so we won't continue to see them. That doesn't mean that if we see something that we would potentially want in the future, we may ask for that as a long-term change. But as of right now, we're focusing on short-term, focusing on making sure breweries are able to continue to sell beer in whatever safe capacity that they can. So for right now, with the delivery that we were able to temporarily receive, that will go away when the state of emergency is lifted.
Do you presume that people are you're gonna go hard after it. You know, the kind of lobbying arm of CBG. I'm not trying to say that you're not the Halliburton, right, of lobbying, but I mean, as a craft beer drinker, it's got to be something that has to be something you kind of want to go after, right? A little bit.
I think maybe Justin can talk about this, or Will, in terms of what you guys see as brewery owners. I mean, I think the thing that the Guild is here to do is represent our members. And so I never prescribe legislative work to our members. We're there to support them in their efforts. And so just making sure that I'm not making any assumptions for them. And I would say one of the things that, you know, we want to help our members in any way we can. We also have great relationships with a lot of other industry stakeholders, and we want to make sure those relationships maintain. And so we always are respectful of that position of supporting our restaurants and our taverns and our distributors, as well as maintaining the ability for our breweries to be successful.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, Shawnee hit the nail on the head. I was just going to point out that, you know, when we work on legislative efforts, we always want to incorporate stakeholders. So that's, you know, the bars that we sell kegs to, the independent liquor stores, now grocery stores, the wholesalers, you know, everyone has a say, and we never want to fight people. You know, the goal is generate consensus as much as possible. And sometimes that isn't possible, but yeah. And then, you know, I'd love to hear Will's position. I think we have, you know, 400 breweries in the state, and everybody's business model is a little bit different, and some things are appealing for some, but not for others. So it really depends.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the delivery option and everything like that is an interesting idea. You know, it's not really, it wasn't really thought up in our business model. And so we always wanted to just be a fun place to hang out and kind of snag beer. So we are kind of having to shift away from that, obviously. But no, I mean, if, you know, they say we can't deliver after this all goes away, I'm not going to be too bummed about it, honestly. You know, we're thinking about opening it up to maybe like a 1.5 mile or 3 mile radius for deliveries. But it just, with Denver being so not congested, but very tightly kind of, I don't know, lived in, 3 miles opens up a lot of area to deliver into, you know, apartments and houses and things like that. So we'd rather kind of people come here, but delivery is potentially helping a lot of people right now. So
I know Jay has a question. Hold on, Jay. I do want to cut you off. I'm sorry. You talked this morning. No, not to you. I'm apologizing to Jay. Well, okay, so we were talking this morning with some business folks.
That would be me, by the way.
By the way, yeah, for sure. But so many of these breweries are able to get their delivery kind of infrastructure set up so fast. Who is doing that kind of across the state and across the country, I guess? I mean, was this just breweries kind of figuring out themselves on their websites, or were they kind of were they contracting out? What was going on? Just out of curiosity.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say, so, you know, the Liquor Enforcement Division has been very clear that you can't use a third party for delivery. So it has to be employees that are doing delivery. So I think that the businesses that I've seen that are transitioning into delivery are utilizing some of their staff that they otherwise may have had to have laid off if they were front of house staff or, you know, their event managers or whatever. And so they're trying to find other ways for them to be useful and keep getting a paycheck. And so I think that that's you know, one of their ways of handling this. And I think, you know, for the online ordering and delivery system and all that stuff, you know, you got to do it, you figure it out. But I don't think there's one system out there. I've been contacted by probably 5 or 6 different companies that want to advertise that they're able to do delivery or online services. And, you know, we can only offer so many things to our members, but I think every brewery is trying to figure it out differently. Some are using PayPal, some are using, you know, their web store already. It's all kind of a mixed bag there.
Oh, and Chris is taking over the phone. Now he's in the back, and who knows what he's doing.
We had customers, so we have to keep our distance now.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
As long as it's 6 feet, Chris, you can stay in the same area and creep them out the way you do.
And we got our bottling line running right now, so it's a working happy hour.
I keep getting in trouble at my particular professional job for all day being happy hour, and every conference call and Zoom meeting that my boss keeps putting on, I have to ask if it's alcohol allowed or not, and he's really starting to get sick of it. So
It's either a coffee hour or a booze hour. That's what the day has.
Yeah,
divided
actually,
into.
I've just made it clear to my boss that every time he puts me on a Skype video bullshit, that chances are pretty good I'm going to have a beer or a kid running around naked. So, or both, frankly. So I have 2 things to say, Sam J. The first one is anybody that wants to put me on payroll for delivery should do so. And I come super cheap. However, you got to calculate the 6-pack per mile into payroll taxes. Go ahead. But I will expand your network into the Southwest Denver metro area pretty quickly. Second of all, this is, I guess, Chris, you can speak to this a little bit, and Justin, I especially expect you to have some thoughts on this. Sam asked about business plans and business models prior to this, but are you expecting a lot of breweries to come together, or at least internally circle the wagons and revamp their business plans for the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years as a result of this? I know for a fact, I've heard from breweries that were talking about canning 6 months ago and are regretting the fact that they didn't do it because they're sort of behind the curve this week.
Yeah, I guess we've always kind of steered the way of doing, tap room sales with, and then bottling for like cellar beers. So we like the glass option for beers you can put down, and just growlers to go. We've never really talked about canning too much before. And
Chris, I'm not speaking about canning specifically. I'm just thinking like out loud. Is there other ideas that you guys are considering now outside of canning necessarily? Like, is there something new or a new market or a new option that's on the table that you guys hadn't considered or that you now have to consider?
I mean, the wheels are always turning. We haven't really come up with anything super out of the ordinary or anything completely different than we've seen so far. But yeah, we've been talking to other breweries, talking about doing like small pop-ups where we kind of share each other's beers, or we fill a certain amount of crowlers to bring to another brewery, and kind of do it the same way of like a brew pub where you can kind of sell someone else's product on your taps, that kind of thing. Just trying to always keep something going, open minds.
Justin, question for you. How have you been dealing with the people who have Station 26 on tap? What are you talking? I mean, with restaurants and tap rooms and stuff like that. Are you in contact with them, or are they able to kind of put stuff out there? What are you experiencing?
Yeah, our team is definitely in touch with those accounts. Some of them are closed, just fully closed right now. Some are open with only on the draft side. Some of those accounts are filling growlers or mason jars or whatever it is. But I think for the most part, the go business for those on-prem restaurants is really, canned or bottled beer. And typically we don't sell much canned beer to on-premise accounts, right? It's probably 98% draft. So yeah, I don't know. It's a little early to tell. I guess.
Is there anything you can do in those situations? Or you just kind of it's a lost product?
There's really not. We can't credit them. I think you can replace beer maybe down the road as we get closer to lifting of the stay in place orders, but
I think it's really just going to depend on, you know, what is the health of everybody's business, right? For us to have to replace a bunch of beer for free versus those accounts, you know, it's tough. We'll see. Time will tell.
Cake sales are good. Got a cake
If I could go back to the other question, which, you know, sort of the business model question, you know, clearly nobody could have foreseen the situation that we're in, but, you know, for years, everybody's been told, you know, on premise is the way to go. Sell beer in your tap room, sell beer in your tap room, sell beer in your tap room. And now all of a sudden, when tap rooms are closed, if that's your only business, that's tricky. You know, for us, we sell beer in kegs, we sell beer in cans. We started a distributor late last year, so we have a couple different ways to kind of keep trucking.
Thank you.
As best that we can. So, you know, there's pros and cons, right? You can make a lot of money selling beer out of your tap room only, but when the doors are closed, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, I can imagine that the on beer over the bar model is still the strongest. And deep down inside, I feel like humans have a short memory, right? So it doesn't matter what happens in a couple of weeks, man. I feel like 6 months down the road, people are going to revert back to their natural instincts. And in brewing, there's nothing wrong with keeping a tap room only model. It just,
I totally agree. My point is only if, you know, we're talking about a 3-4 month shutdown.
Yeah,
you need cash to float that time period.
Yeah, and God forbid it's that long. I think what and to echo some comments that I used earlier this morning, I anticipate breweries especially are going to learn to be more lean and more efficient probably in the long run, and that it is highly likely that there will be a larger spirit of collaboration and partnership than there already is. So
I want to hear real quick, and I want to hear more from Shawnee, obviously, but knowing the business model of Banded Oak versus a Station 26, just out of curiosity, what is one thing, Chris, that you've learned over the last 10 to 14 days? And then, you know, when you're done, I want to hear from Justin too. What's one lesson you've learned, or something that you had never kind of considered that you've considered kind of invaluable now?
Oh man, on the spot, us. So many things though. So many things. Just how much, you know, I think a lot of service people especially are, you know, there's complaining every day about dealing with people, or, you know, working long hours or whatever. But for so many people right now, they'd give anything to do it. Just come in and get a stuck mash. It's you know, or, you know, just deal with an unruly customer, anything like that. So that's one thing, you know, just always kind of reminds you how great it is just to be part of this. Yeah, you know, I try to come in as much as I can. I'm pretty much isolated here. You know, Will stays up front, I stay in the back, and I try to do as much as I possibly can, you know, shining kegs with a toothbrush if I got to, but just just keeping myself busy, and how much it's like, you know, how much I appreciate being busy every day when we're in the times and the seasons.
Awesome. Justin, how about you?
That's a good question. I think the world changed in, you know, over the last 14 days for the service industry in general, and I feel like this is kind of you know, like a 9/11 type event for service industry, and I don't know what it's going to look like when it comes back, but it's going to be different somehow, I think. And just you know, I think the average small business has, maybe they have 14 days of cash, you know, runway. It's really tough, and I'm just proud of the, you know, at least on our side, the support that our, you know, neighborhood has shown us, and coming in and buying beer and just helping us keep the lights on and tipping front of house people well, and just kind of coming together as a community, and then going home drinking by yourself here. basement.
That's the bottom line here on the Unfiltered show, by the way, is drinking by yourself in the basement. I admittedly have had to cut back my consumption a little bit the last 2 weeks because apparently, according to people that I spend a whole hell of a lot more time with than I used to, I may have been overserved by myself lately. So,
Johnny, you're arguably you're heading up arguably the most powerful Brewers Guild in the country. What have you learned over the last 10 to 14?
Thanks for that, Sam. I would say, you know, I appreciate that, but I also think that what I've seen from all other guilds across the country is that all the guilds are really strong, and guilds around the country are stepping up and doing what they can to support their members. It's been such a great network and a community of other guilds. And they're actually having a happy hour right now without me. They do weekly happy hours, which is really awesome and super fun to see my counterparts across the country. But I would say, you know, something that I've learned over the last couple of weeks is that brewers are resilient little fuckers, and they're going to do what they do to stay open. And and that's awesome. I mean, that's what I love about this industry is that they're stepping up and they're doing everything they can to be the best stewards in their community. So that means, you know, they don't have to do online ordering or pre-orders, but they are doing that because they think that that's the important thing to do. And we're seeing that breweries are really taking this very seriously, and then at the same time trying to support their communities as much as possible when they can. And so we're seeing breweries that are able to, you know, make hand sanitizer now that TTB is and the FDA is allowing that. So breweries are stepping up and doing things for their community. I've seen WeldWorks is, you know, donating a 4-pack or a 6-pack to health workers that are out there on the front lines. I think that it's really awesome to see the community rally behind the efforts. And, you know, even when they're struggling really hard, they're still there to be part of this larger community. And that's something that breweries have always been, at least in Colorado, have always really valued as their community.
Shawnee, I have your next free promo when your breweries renew their membership in the guild, and that's a sticker that says "Brewers are resilient motherfuckers."
And I think that, you know, the things that, like, you know, you said that we may be one of the strongest guilds, but that's only due to our members, right? Like, I couldn't do my job without all of our members doing what they do. And so being able to tell their story and advocate for them is only possible because of what they do. And so they make my job a lot easier because they are such good stewards of the community, and they represent what a small business is in this industry. And I think that that's something that I've learned a lot, is that we have a lot of clout, but that's due to our members. And that's not because, you know, I'm great or our lobbyist is great. Yeah, our lobbyist has a great amount of experience and she has great relationships, but really it's your guys' stories that make this easy.
I'm wondering, it would be, not that I want to learn anything from this crazy ass situation, but from a researcher or a professor side, I want to see in terms of consumption how this has changed or told us more about the craft beer drinker. And the reason why I kind of say that is because I talked to John's Grocery in Iowa City, Iowa today. So John's Grocery has always been kind of known as the best craft beer supplier in all of Southeast Iowa. So they get stuff from kind of everywhere. And Doug, their head of beer sales, said they've sold everything from Big Grove and Toppling Goliath all week of the last 14 days because all these Iowans just want to drink Iowa beer. That's it. Like, you know, there's all kinds of other stuff on the shelf, but they just give them money. If I'm going to go buy craft beer, I want it to go to those breweries that I know are close to home. And I wonder if that kind of impacts what happens here in Colorado and in Denver specifically changes. But I guess only time will tell.
Yeah, I know. And I think, you know, Periodic was talking about this, and what I've been hearing from so many of our members is the outpouring of support from the community and people really rallying behind, you know, their favorite brewery or their favorite tap room, and making sure that they're providing support for them. And, we can all go down to the local liquor store, and we encourage people to buy beer through the liquor store too. But for those breweries that don't distribute, it's great to show that the community really supports them in a long-term investment of their future. And I think that that's something that probably almost communities all across the country are doing for their small businesses. I hope, at least.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody have anything else to add? Angela's back now.
Hi, sorry, had some customers.
No, that's good. That's a good thing. That is not a bad
Yes,
thing.
it is.
Yes.
That is way more important than the rest of us right now, I promise.
Yeah, no
Yep,
kidding.
I was like, oh no, a couple people come in and hang on, I'll be back.
Okay, before we kind of close up shop, Chris and Angela in particular, what do you want to tell listeners? Where can we find a place to order and get stuff delivered? What's the window that you're doing stuff, or the hours that you're doing things?
Well,
Yeah. Go ahead, Angela.
Okay, well, we have an app for one, so you can go to your app store on your phone, download Periodic Brewing app. My boss updates it almost daily, so it'll have updates of food trucks coming, what beers have gone, what beers have kicked, all that are hours. Bye, Brian. Thank you. So the app's probably the best way to find out anything that's going on at the brewery right now.
All right, perfect. Awesome. Thank you. And Chris, what about you?
For us, we're doing, we don't have an app yet. We're working with a few people to kind of design some, like online ordering and stuff like that. I don't know about an app, but for now we're pretty much open, 3 to 7, all week. And Saturdays we are going to open at noon. And we're partnering up with Barbossa's food truck to kind of do like a food and beer to go kind of thing on Saturdays. And yeah, it's it's crowlers out the door, and like I said, we're bottling right now, so we're gonna have some of our good barrel aged beers available, and trying to do some more like cellaring and quarantining beer, that kind of thing. But yeah, for now, 3 to 7 and 12 to 7 on Saturdays.
Shawnee or Justin, do you want to add some more from kind of your leadership perspectives? Anything we can do?
I think, one thing that the Guild has been doing is supporting our members. So you can go onto our website and find if people are doing to go, if they're selling merchandise online, all of that kind of stuff. We update that. We ask our members to provide that information, so it's as up to date as possible. The Guild, is a nonprofit trade association, and so we rely on donations, membership dues. So we'll probably be doing some creative and fun things in the near future, and reaching out to consumers and beer lovers to help us support the Guild, because we did postpone Collaboration Fest and Pint Day, and those were big fundraisers for us. So just stay tuned, and we'll be sending out information about that as soon as we can. Perfect.
Awesome. Justin, what about you, buddy?
I would just say to support your favorite local breweries, go to the source, buy beer from who you like, tip your bartenders well.
Yeah, for sure.
Or buy it from someone you don't like, and maybe you'll discover something you've never enjoyed before.
I'm going to plug the SIP Beer Fest right now. Only reason why, Jay, is because about 2 seconds ago we just got $1,000 donation. So
bullshit.
Yeah, we're up to almost $10,000 over the last 2 days.
Damn.
Yeah. So
Shelter in place virtual beer fest, ladies and gentlemen, April 11th, noon to 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of which, Justin, I know Shawnee's done her part. If you know, it would be easy to get access just to a spreadsheet of where Colorado craft brewers distribute outside of state. Like just those, Shawnee gave me a bunch of information, but I still kind of put it together. I don't know if folks just have spreadsheets of where they are distributing out of state, like in what particular grocery stores, because I had a bunch of people from Iowa and Missouri of all people ask where the hell to get the beer. So yeah, if you guys want to spread the word and all of that, they can email Jay or I. So it's just Sam at Unfiltered Craft or Jay at Unfiltered Craft. We will not share that spreadsheet at all or any of the data. We just need to know to be able to tell people, hey, here's where you go to get that thing, so that way you can participate in the beer festival. So yeah, it's going to be, I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
If my girls at Odd 13 are listening, we need to know your Ohio connection because
it is true. Yeah. No, you're right. I forgot about that.
Let's get this shit. Apparently, there's like nerds in 4 other states that listen to this stupid show. So
yeah, it's good. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be. Thanks to all of our sponsors so far, but we're going to go off here. Thank you very much to.
No, tell us who the sponsors are.
I mean, I gotta wait. I gotta make sure that they sign the checks. Hold on, right?
Oh, okay.
Do that, right? They've committed it. I don't know if you guys are you guys been talking to the Handoff guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Handoff reached out to us and we suggested that they talk to you guys and that we would be in touch with them.
Okay.
We're looking to do something unique with the guild, a little bit different than a virtual beer festival. So we've been talking to them and other people, but yeah, we talked to them about that. I know that there's a lot of interest out there for supporting employees that have been laid off during this. And we really appreciate you guys stepping up and helping out with that and making sure that people can support those employees that may not have a job right now. So it's great to hear about how many donations you've already received, and I look forward to participating.
Chris and Angela, if you want more information about Handoff, they are I don't know, they seem to be decent people. Like it's like, yeah, I've talked to them a couple times. I'm not saying I'm not going to put my name behind anything just yet, but they're trying to find, basically they facilitate your employees delivering beer. And they kind of make things a little bit easier for us to order it. But when they said that Ratio was on board, I kind of realized that it was probably a legit thing, because Jason and Scott don't fuck around when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But yeah, email me if you want more information, or text me and I will send it to you, because they are, they seem to be trying to help the industry as much as possible. If that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
Thank you.
Okay. You crew, the 5 of you, or 1, 2, 4 of you, Jay and I have got to talk after this, but thank you so much. I think we're going to do a whiskey one tomorrow, Jay, it looks like. So we're going to do all the Colorado craft whiskey guys.
Shit. Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. They want in on this. Apparently we're a
Do you blame them?
I know. But thank you guys so much. And really, really love all of you so much, and keep doing what you're doing. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Cheers. Thank you guys.
Cheers, guys.